defense sector booming. It's the sunrise sector as far as Indian economy is concerned. There's a too much of emphasis on defense Atmanirbharta. Today we have with us as expert Colonel Vikram Bhushan. Hi Vikram, welcome to the show.
Hi Manish, thanks a ton.
So, hi, how are you? You are
All
looking
good,
as
all
handsome
good.
as ever.
And a very warm welcome to everybody. Wishing you all a very happy new year. Hope this is a fantastic one for you.
I said you're looking as handsome as ever.
Oh, now you're lying. Now I know when you're lying. but I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you so much, Manish.
Yeah, so Vikram is a coastmate, and so I can take liberties with him. But nevertheless, let me give a brief introduction about Vikram. He's 87th regular NDA, EME officer, done all the required courses, MTech, etc. And he believes in high network individual life. He is an HNI himself. And so he doesn't do jobs with, chota mota companies. So the first job he picked was, I think, with Mercedes. And he didn't like to sit in Mercedes, so he switched to Rolls-Royce. So he's with Rolls-Royce Power Systems as head of land defense. And that's no mean achievement. So welcome to the show, Vikram. Is there anything I have missed out or I was incorrect?
Uh, I can't find a chink in your armor, Manish. Please carry on.
Thank you, thank you. So you can see that 92 officers who are eager to hear what you have to say. So Vikram, I'll come straight to the point. The first thing is that when did you leave, and how did you land this job? Let's first hear that in very brief, then we'll come to the talk proper.
Roger. After my command, I had decided to quit. And in 2012, October, I went to IIM Ahmedabad, and on 5th of January 2013, I moved out of service. I finished my job, my course in IIM, and then by May of 2013, I was with
Okay.
Mercedes.
So Vikram, 2013, that means you joined the corporate sector, and but did you plan it all? I mean, you took PMR, obviously. So did you plan your PMR well, or was it just a season you thought enough is enough?
Uh, so a couple of things. Straight away, yes, it was planned, and no, I have never wanted. I've never thought of the forge as being something that I did not want. In fact, it is what has made me what I am, and I'm eternally grateful
All
to
of us, all of
the.
us.
So, and I'm sure everybody here will agree with me. For whatever they were to whatever they are now, there is a sea change, and we have the forge to thank for it. Whatever may be our reasons, we may want to move on or do something else, but the forge is there to thank for it, and I am eternally grateful to the organization. So, what my decision was based on two things. One was that I wanted to settle in one place. And the second was that I knew that if I had to make a mark in the corporate sector, it should be at a slightly early age, because the more you advance, the lesser your chances of settling down or landing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, it does happen, but the chances reduce further. So moving out at an early age, if you have taken the decision, moving out at an early age makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So what was the preparation you did for? I mean, what kind of did do some kind of market survey? Where are the jobs? What are the trends, etc. Anything which you would like to mention here?
So what I did was I was very clear that I wanted to go into the managerial sector. Uh, Definitely, manufacturing was not for me. I'm not a software guy. I have got a mechanical engineering background. So it was either manufacturing or after sales, or perhaps a natural output would have been business development in something related to to automotive engineering. So the thought was, it was kind of uh, fluid in my mind. It was not very clear. And at that point of time, when I started, so the first thing that I did was in 2007, I gave my GMAT exam. I was hoping that I would get into this, was at 16 years of service or something. Very fortunately, it did not click. Even though I scored a 92 percentile on GMAT, uh, I did not get through to ISB because I did not get a PMR from the Forge at that time. Very thankfully, I went on to command 7033, a very rewarding experience. And from there, I moved out, all the more wiser. Yeah. So after that, my preparation was market survey. Obviously, I wanted to know where I stand. And one more thing that I did was I started contacting people, which I very strongly recommend to people who are wanting to lead. Please start speaking to at least five people in a day. Any five people that you feel, even if you feel they're not connected to your work, five new people a day. Please start speaking to them. Two things come out. One is you develop your network, and the second is you will improve your speaking skills. So these are the two things that I did. My I didn't have a clear thought process. I knew which sectors I fit in. More importantly, I knew which sectors I would not fit in.
Just
So
which is
which
more important.
opportunity I had when I stepped out of the army.
So, gentlemen, point I'll just take 1 minute here. Please note. One, he always knew what he doesn't want to do or what is not for him. So that really helps in decluttering the mind and decluttering your own desk. You know what you have on your table and what to go for. So he had started this process by first identifying what he doesn't want. And then when he narrowed down his options, then he started exploring what are the options left and what is of interest to him. So this is something which we have been advocating. ये बात ना हमारी सुनते नहीं है विक्रम, इसीलिए we have called you because we have been telling them that please do networking, please do, but they don't listen to me. So that is why we have called you here. So we have been telling them the same thing, that networking is very important. In fact, we have done a very good video on this networking. All those who have not seen, please go and watch. Network is your net worth. That is the title of the video, and it's on the Value Talk YouTube channel. So coming straight to the point, defense, Vikram, in last few years. Okay, first of all, let me tell you a very interesting thing, that I never wanted to go back to defense. I mean, I never wanted to go back to the army as a vendor or as a whatever. I mean, it was my mindset, the fixed mindset, about which I wrote in in our groups today, that it was my fixation and I was wrong. So you learn from my mistake, and this is something which is our strength. We must leverage this strength, and defense domain is what we know about. So we must leverage it. And whatever I wrote, gentlemen, I wrote it from the heart. So don't take defense domain lightly. It's a very good, very upcoming, booming sector with a lot of promise. So, Vikram, how is the defense industry, a big budget shaping up? Is defense business development a good career option for armed forces officers who are planning a transition?
Right. So I can share some numbers with you. a lot of the portion of money which is allocated for the defense budget goes into pensions and uh, salaries and stuff like that. But even after that, the defense budget for procurement of weapons and equipment is 1.25 lakh crores. That was in 2022. And an additional 19,000 crores was also allocated for other modernization projects. Now, gentlemen, I'm talking only capital procurement. I'm not talking revenue. I'm not talking
Yeah,
maintenance. I'm talking only capital procurement. So budget is huge. The scope is massive. And if you have the capability or to talk and to sell, I think, and obviously you have to know your subject. The subject matter you need to know very thoroughly. There is no escaping that. I think it is a thing to go for. Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that is what. In fact, one of the things I mentioned is uh, the way defense sector is coming up. One cue is budget shaping up, budget increasing, emphasis on make in India, various schemes of the government, and the stock market, defense sector uh, shares, the stock price, they have zoomed.
Yes,
The
they have. Yes, they have.
whether it is Bharat Dynamics, Bell, and MTAR, and all those things, and these are not very Paras Defense. These are not very old companies. Anyway, so there is a lot of progress. So, what is the suggested route of the pathway? I'll keep my questions very crisp so that we have time for question answers. What is the suggested route of the pathway? Steps to join Defense PD?
Okay. So there are a few things that I'd like to bring out here. One is how do you prepare for stepping out and applying for a job? The first thing is you need to prepare your resume in a way that it is understood in the civil stream. People will not understand that you are a company commander in Thois. I'm just quoting from Manish uh, from a conversation that we had yesterday. People will not know that you're a company commander from Thois who's won a Sena medal. They will understand if you can put down some numbers in terms of your, say, the number of people you managed, the kind of terrain over which you organized your logistics, the operational management that you did. Maybe you had to deploy some people, maybe you had to control some troops over some places. So all these are operational items which can be highlighted correctly. Instead of saying that I had, if there's a commanding officer, instead of saying that you had Alpha company in Thois and Bravo company elsewhere, what you could say is that over a period, over a area of around 250 square kilometers, you had, say, 1,000 or 800 or 1,000 people deployed in harsh conditions, and you maintained a no casualty rate for a period of 3 years. Now that is something that people will understand, right? So that's one thing. The second is, in case you have been in some kind of procurement or some kind of position in which you have been handling finances, numbers are understood. Please try and bring that out, right? So that is as far as resume preparation is concerned. One thing that I would like to tell you is, if your resume is going beyond 1.5 pages, you've got it wrong. Please redo it. Nobody has time to read a 5-page resume. One understands that you've done a lot and you want to show it, but nobody is interested. 1.5 pages max. Best would be a 1 pager. The next point is, like I have already told you, connect with 5 people, be it serving officers, retired officers, civil connects, anybody, 5 people. I personally have got my job because I was in constant touch with my boss, and he was reached out to by another person who was in the present organization, who was in Rolls Royce, and he reached out because he wanted a specialist in armored fighting vehicles. And this officer who was my boss, Brigadier Rajaram, I don't mind mentioning him at all, amazing officer, a thorough gentleman, and extremely competent and professional. Uh, he was reached out to, and he suggested my name, even though, in all fairness, he also put it up on the Forces Network group. He did not want to be biased, so he put it up on the Forces Network group, but he definitely told me personally over a phone call. I reached out to these people, and they were interested in what I had to offer, and here I am. So that is how I got the job. Perhaps you would also want to maintain a network. Next, be highly proficient in MS Office and Windows. Extremely important. You may know or may not know how to handle a computer, but now is the time that you shape up. You should have excellent communication skills and public speaking abilities. Most of us have it, and and I just need to mention it here, that this is a very important aspect. And lastly, change your mindset. It's very important. Networking is not a sin. It is extremely important because business development involves meeting people, and it can influence your sales. It must be done with extreme honesty, but it can influence your sales because people will know you and they will reach out to you if there is a requirement. I think that is as much as preparation is concerned. Would you want me to continue?
Great. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Great points, Vikram. And I can't agree more. Uh, each and every word which you have said, I am in 100% agreement. And but point is, Vikram, at times what happens is your postings, like there are some officers who have exposure to postings in staff, in army headquarters. They deal with procurements. They know the defense procurement system. They have an added advantage. Some people are in PMO or something. Uh, they know how the defense procurement system works and all. Any kind of knowledge which one should acquire, any upgradation over and above what you already know about Forge. Is there anything which you suggest?
I would definitely recommend domain knowledge and op deployment understanding. For example, if you have been posted to high altitude, you may want to be very, very aware of how artillery is kind of deployed, maybe how mechanized infantry is deployed. Uh, because when it comes to business development, equipment matters, and how equipment behaves in a particular region gives you an edge over anybody else who has not had that physical experience. I have seen that nothing ever matches actual physical experience of having seen the equipment, handled it, and faced all the issues. So that is one. And secondly, if you are into business development, obviously it will be equipment and services. Knowledge of equipment and its engineering and maintainability requirements will matter. So, in case you want to enter into this field, I would strongly recommend that you kind of upgrade your knowledge within your domain within your domain. So a lot of times, what will happen is you may be a signals officer, but uh, the items that you may have to be developing as a business would be, say, small arms. It is not imperative that a signals officer does not know about small arms. He does, right? It's only a question of brushing up your knowledge or enhancing it some more. So I feel that being in the army gives us a head start, and being posted in various places which are not procurement related is not necessarily a disadvantage.
But at the same time, I would recommend to people there is always a merit in knowing the defense procurement, knowing the DPM and the defense procurement procedures.
Yep.
What are all those main? There's hardly not too much. The main clauses one must know, and uh, and all this is in public domain, so there is nothing which is confidential about it. So it would always be good if you uh, acquire this knowledge, talk to people who are dealing with it, and gain this knowledge. It will always come handy. So if we have the strength, I mean, if we have the domain knowledge compared to a person who doesn't have this domain knowledge because he's not from armed forces.
Yeah,
So we have a added advantage. There's no doubt about it.
absolutely.
Right? So we have a kind of a head start in this particular domain. But where do defense officers fall short? I'm sure there must be some gray areas.
Oh, defense officers, especially those who have been involved in procurement, fall seriously short in understanding business metrics. I have come across a number of officers who will recommend uh, NCNC, no cost, no commitment. They will recommend changes in a particular equipment, maybe uh, add another module to a software, or uh, in an engine, maybe change this alternator and give us uh, not just electric starting, but give us a pneumatic starting as well. Not understanding that each and every deviation from the standard model for a commercial equipment involves cost. Every single thing is cost. Me going to the office to present my case is a cost to my company. NCNC is a cost to us. Demos are a cost. And costs have to cater for delays and unseen costs of the defense industry. You would all be aware that defense procurement does not happen over a short period of time. This is not FMCG. It takes years. And unless the company is willing to commit to it and stand by it, you will always falter. So my recommendation is you should be clear so that if you are being recruited by a company, you are crystal clear on what the timelines are for procurement of an equipment and what you can add to as value to the company. If you're clear on these two things, you will be able to make a mark in any company. These are the two places. One is understanding business metrics and understanding the cost structure. And the last but not the least is expecting a staff for various jobs, maybe typing out your letters to maybe delivering your mails. This is not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You have to have your own skill sets for all these things, which is why I said MS Office, Outlook. You got to create your own documents, your own presentations, and this will be on you and not on anybody else. These are some of the challenges. And another major challenge which I found is once you have shed your uniform, you will not be treated with the same amount of respect as you commanded when you were in uniform. You will have to wait outside offices. It is not necessary that people who are in uniform be as kind and courteous to you as they were earlier. If they are, it is good for them. And if they are not, it is just too bad. You cannot get disheartened by this. Lastly, the measure of success is only one, is CV Street, which is the revenue that you have earned. Nothing else matters. You have to do it in a very, very ethical and methodical way. But at the end of the day, it is the results that matter, the revenue that you bring into your company that matters. Nothing else will. Be very, very clear on this. And that is what I have to say.
Great, great points. I mean, from more very important points to even the minutest details which do matter. thank you, Vikram. And I can also see another very dear friend of mine, another HNI, high net worth individual, uh, Umesh, who's going to be one of my next guests. So uh, I I know Umesh, you're listening. Don't try to hide. So next is okay. So Vikram, if it's a good domain, it's a booming sector.
Mm.
Everything is going, and defense officers can leverage their strength, their domain knowledge. They have a head start over others. So if everything is aligned, is it all hunky dory? What are the challenges?
Uh, Nothing anywhere is hunky dory, Manish. So there are challenges. Uh, the big some of the challenges that I find are that people don't get breaks very often, which is why networking is very important. Right time, right place is extremely important. That is one. The second is that we as a community, especially when we are stepping out of the army, some of us are unable to adjust to the transition, which will straight away result in the company finding you persona non grata. So I would strongly recommend, as I have done earlier, change your mindset. Uh, Step out of your uniform, not just physically but mentally as well. There will be people 10, 15 years your junior who may be your bosses, or they may be calling you by your first name, maybe even your surname, whatever suits them. There is really no point in, if you want to step into this, there is really no point in getting worked up about these things. If you can take it in your stride, then you will meld into the system much better. You will be accepted sooner. And I find that while you're doing this, you must uh, understand the procurement process. That is extremely important. The DAP 2020 should be known to you, even if it is not by heart. Maybe the main topic should be known to you. You should know how defense procurement takes place, the e-government, e-procurement portals. How do you see, how do you find tenders? Maybe you could update your LinkedIn profile. That is a must. You could update your LinkedIn profile showcasing your strengths. I've already mentioned this earlier, that how you can showcase your strengths in a manner that people outside the uniform also understand. So this is what I would want to say here. Yeah.
And Vikram, I mean, many of these points we have been emphasizing in our earlier talks as well. So please
Yes.
prepare your career portfolio, your resume, CV, LinkedIn profile, network with people, network regularly. As we suggested, five people, 5 persons a day, and also, upgrade your uh, update yourself as far as domain knowledge is concerned. Know defense procurement procedures. At least you don't have to know it by heart, or usko rata nahi maarne ki zarurat, lekin you should know how it is done. And then, of course, be ready. You emotionally, you have to, and you have to leave the baggage behind. Don't be in that, don't carry the baggage of colonel, brigadier, and major, whatever it is. So leave it behind. You may be treated well, you may not be treated, you may be treated at par with others as if you are also civilian, so it's fine. You may be treated like a vendor, people uh, may not be disrespectful, but if you are expecting something, some special treatment may not be meted out to you. So these are normal things. You should be ready for it. You are now moving out to the corporate sector, and you have to merge with them. So there are about 125 people here, and 125 people have not joined the Telegram group. All those who have not joined, and having the free lunch, please don't have it. Join, join. join join the Telegram group and spread the word. Invite your friends, your colleagues, your Postmates. Please support so that we can get quality speakers, quality guests uh, who are at uh, good positions to our value talk.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head